Thanks for joining us today, guys. We have a great podcast in store. It's me and Ben, and then we have a special guest, Amy. She is a full-time rideshare driver in the Grand Rapids area. We talked to her about some questions about being a female driver. A couple things we touched on, people getting tickets for parking in front of the Bob, which is just keeps on going and going. We talked about an algorithm that Uber has a patent for, or requested a patent for, to detect if the passenger is too drunk to ride in an Uber. Watch a video on YouTube called Terry Tips. Very funny. That'll be in the show notes. And also talked about a terrible accident between a Lyft driver and another driver that were both under the influence of drugs. And unfortunately, the Lyft passenger was killed. We had some few questions about from our local Facebook group and some current events. All these will be in the show notes. You can click on those and enjoy. All right, welcome to the GR Rideshare podcast. What episode is this? 13. There are people that say they don't want to label the episodes as numbers because if they stop, it's like kind of dumb. But I don't care. And I found out that iTunes, after they will only host 100 episodes and then they start dropping off. So interesting. So, all right. Today we have Ben and then we have Amy. And I'm not going to attempt to pronounce your last name. So
Aronowski.
Yeah. So it's Polish?
Yeah. I married a Polak.
So basically what we do is kind of run down the list, just our introduction. So why don't you tell me how long you've been driving and if you know your rating and how many rides. I know this is kind of a surprise on that part of it, but
I've been driving a year and a month. My rating just turned to 4.94 last week.
That's really good.
And yeah. What was the other question?
How many rides?
Oh, I don't know that. Close to 2,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long you been doing it for full time?
About 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's what kind of Cece did the same thing. She was part time for a while, and then she jumped into the full time in December.
I think so. Yeah.
17. So you're right around the same time. Then we're into June. So
right.
Cool.
Yeah.
So are you planning on continuing to do this, or are you looking for full-time work?
I'm looking for full-time work, but even when I find it, I'll definitely do it on the weekends. Okay. It's a lot of fun.
All right.
It is.
Yeah.
So when is your shift? Do you do a shift or do you do a shift or do you
Peter Brady?
Yeah.
Do I do a shift?
Like do you get up in the morning and work 6 to 4 or 6 to 2 or
I've tried to do 5 to 9.
5 a.m. to 9.
Yes. And that's really good. That's a really good shift.
Okay.
However, it's really hard for me to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
That's tough.
It's tough. But the money's there.
Okay.
It's there. Otherwise I work in the evening, start around 8 and go till 2 around 2.
Okay.
2 or 3.
So you work the 5 to 9, come home, do whatever, and then go out in the evening?
Yes, that's the plan. But it's been summer, so I'm like, let's go to the beach.
It's been so crappy. I mean, my goal on a Friday night now is $100, even on Saturday night. And I'm like...
And there's no surge. You wait for the surge. There's nothing.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
You just have to be smart. I mean, even without surge, I mean... You were holding out last weekend for a big ride, and I just started taking everything. Even on a small surge, like close to bar close, I'm just like, I'm taking it because I don't know what I'm going to get.
Yeah.
And but did you work this past weekend?
I did.
Both nights?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're just Uber X, right?
Yes.
Correct. Okay.
Yep.
What did you have? How was your money? Because I made 110 on Friday and I made 180 on Saturday.
$89 for 6 hours. Yeah, it was really bad.
Wow.
It was really, really bad. And then I waited I waited for that surge and nothing. I think one of those nights, maybe Thursday or Friday, was nothing. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
You just wait and look at it. Turn red.
Well, I feel like I'm not going to wait for it. That's what I told him. I'm like, I'm not going to wait. No, I am XL and I can take X off. So I will only do XLs at that time just so if it's going to be a low surge, we might as well get as much money. And I always tell people if you're going to continue to do it full time, you should when you're ready to upgrade for a car, you should upgrade to an XL.
Absolutely.
But I also think it would be a good idea to have a small car for the summer.
Sure.
Because I feel like the summer's so slow anyways. The XL does help, but it's not worth the $15 or 15 miles to the gallon that I get.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, or doing like Uber Eats with a gas guzzler. And so.
I won't do Uber Eats.
Yeah, we won't either.
No.
I mean, we dipped our feet in. Now, I actually do Grubhub in the summer.
Is it different?
It is different.
Yeah.
So this is the big difference, and this is why I do it. So when I get a ping for Grubhub, it tells me how much I'm going to make right off the bat, tip included.
Oh, okay.
So what it does is Grubhub asks for the tip before the customer checks out, where Uber, when you're done getting the food, you then can tip, but nobody ever does, right?
Right.
But Grubhub says, would you like to add gratuity? So basically, when I get one that pops up that's over $10,
Right.
I will take it. If it's under 10, I say no. I mean, I can tell when somebody doesn't tip. It'll be Denny's run for $4. I'm like, oh, this is just like Uber Eats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, what do you do when you bring the food and they're like, this is not what I ordered? And then they give you a bad rating and you don't have anything to do with the food.
That's true. I'll be honest with you. I drop that food off and I run back to my car. No, I don't run, but I make a point to hustle and don't even touch my phone. And I just start the car and go because I mean,
they
it's
can
not
deal
my problem.
with it with the restaurant.
Right. I will check in the bag. I'll like 6 items. I'll be like, yeah, it looks like around 6 items. I mean, if I got one item and it was 6, I would be like, say something to the restaurant. But
well, what about the winter time and the slush and the snow and you're finding a place to park? It just doesn't seem worth it.
It's not for Uber Eats. But like I said, if an airport run for an Uber X to downtown is right around $10.
Yeah.
So if I can make $10 on a run, as long as it's not like, you kind of have to make a decision, though, because you're like, you see the address and you see the restaurant and you have like 30 seconds to think about how far away it is. Right. You know what I mean? So you're like, is it worth it? Because sometimes I've done $10 ones and it's been, oh my gosh, it's delivering from the Chinese place in Cascade and 96 to Jennison. Oh, you know what I mean?
Walk.
Yeah. It's China Garden.
Oh,
right on Ada there, right on Cascade and Ada Drive or Forest Hills, right by Forest Hills Foods.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, I had relatively, I mean, I think 180 is good. What about you over the weekend, Ben?
I pulled in about $100 Friday night and Saturday night.
Really?
And then I did Thursday night because I was expecting a surge for that country concert. That surge never really got very high either. So I took in about $40 that night.
Okay.
So $240. Not horrible. Not great.
No. But anything over 100.
That Faith Hill one? That concert?
Yeah, yep.
I waited forever for that surge.
Yeah, and it just never came.
And it never came. And when it did come, I was in Jennison.
Yeah. Did get up there, though?
Yeah. I mean, like 2 times, maybe.
Oh, that's not a surge.
No, it was...
I mean... what about B93's birthday bash? That was a flake, too. I got pissed. I left. I was getting nothing above like a 1.5. I freaking left and drove to the airport. I was like spitting nickels. I was like, this is supposed to be, and I don't know why. You just think the amount of drivers?
Probably.
You think so?
I picked them up, but a couple hours afterwards, they all went to the close bars.
Oh, like the Tallies. Yeah.
I picked them up there and had one in Jennison from there. Yeah.
There were some 6-time surges up in Rockford.
Yeah, over summer, start of summer celebration.
Yep.
So
I might hang out there for a while.
I don't know. I told
time thing.
It was because it was the start of summer that weekend celebration. I was telling Ben most of them are probably going to be short because they just didn't want to park downtown, and they're like, 4 miles. Although a 6-time surge for 4 miles is probably $25.
Yeah,
$30. So that's not terrible.
A couple of those,
right? What I wanted to talk to you about that route change thing.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Tell us about what that was. I think I got the gist of it. You emailed them initially because you.
Yep.
Okay.
So what happened was I picked up an XL ride in front of the tavern, and 2 strikes against them. Number 1, they're drunk. So I mean that just goes without saying. But their thinking was clearly impaired. Number two, they were from out of town, so they had no idea where they needed to go. They just knew they were at the Days Inn Hotel on 28th Street. Well, there just happened to be 2 Days Inn on 28th Street. There's one out in Granville, and then there's a new one right off of 131 at Buchanan.
Okay.
So they needed to go to the one at Buchanan and 131. However, I was routing towards the one in Granville.
So did they put that address in?
They did.
Okay. There's tons of hotels that's happened for. There's like a Walker one, like a Hampton and Walker.
Baymont
and
and
there's Baymont. Something in Walker and one by the airport.
Yep. So we're driving, and then they're like, this doesn't look familiar. And I was like, well, we're going to the Days Inn, right? And they said, yeah, on 28th Street. I said, yeah, that's what I've got here. So she was like,
oh, the Granville one's on 28th Street too?
Yeah. Yep. Which was just hilarious.
One southwest, one southeast, because Division is the splitter, I thought. And Days Inn, or is it 131 that splits that?
I think it might be one. I'm not sure where
I'm pretty sure I thought it was Division, and that hotel is before Division.
It is.
But anyways.
So I'm not sure how that all worked out, but they were like, no, I'm pretty sure we're going to the wrong spot. I was like, okay, well, then let's change it and put in the next one. So by this point, we're on Market, about to get on 196, going the complete opposite direction of 131.
All right.
So I was like, okay. So instead of getting on 196 West, I got on 196 East and basically did a huge giant loop to get back to 131.
Right.
And then it took them south. So the ride ended up being like a cost of $60 to the rider.
Okay.
My take on that was a 40 something. They tipped. They were nice. I mean, nobody put up a fight about it.
Right.
But I was just thinking, when they wake up in the morning and they realize how much they paid for this ride, they're going to fight it. So I figured I'll go ahead and send Uber an email just informing them this is what happened. There were destination changes, confusion on where they needed to go, just letting you know.
So they did not change it in the app. You didn't ask them to?
They tried, but it didn't work. So
yeah, it's so frustrating when you ask them to change it and they're either too hammered and they ask you how to do it. I'm like, I've used Uber plenty of times. In fact, my passenger rating is way lower than my driver rating. It's a 4.74. I'm like,
oh, wow.
Who did I piss off? I tip every single time. I should be getting 5 stars. But I've never had to change the address. So they're like asking me. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I just take their phone away and do it for them.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I asked them.
Well, yeah, of course.
Sure. Yeah.
Give me that phone.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And so Uber writes back, and the tone of the message was basically, why are you messaging us?
Right. Like,
what do you want us to do about this?
Yeah.
Do you want us to refund the rider? And I just wrote back and said, no, I don't think a refund's necessary.
Yeah, because you still want to get paid.
Yeah, like I was just letting you know because they're probably going to write you about this ride.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I did that because first thing next morning, I checked my earnings and I'm in the negative. Like because I did Instapay.
Oh.
And so I was in the negative because they refunded part of that ride. So I took a screenshot of the original message, sent it in an email to Uber and said, you told me that you weren't going to deduct my earnings for this.
Right.
Well, they gave me my earnings back. Like, I didn't have to fight beyond that. I just sent another message and they responded quickly and said, yes, you're correct. We're giving you back this portion of your earnings. So it was a $29 loop. Basically.
Yeah, and you said that they refunded the rider anyways
They did.
And got now the whole amount or just the amount from
the $29. They took that off of the ride. So if I looked at the earnings and it said that the rider paid 60 minus that 29 whatever. But they still paid me that. So Uber took a loss on that ride,
right?
Which is very unlike them. So
yeah.
Cuz usually it seems like Uber's out to stick you whenever they can.
I wish it was someone actually looking at that email and said, why is this driver emailing us? Who cares? Like usually usually it's not a proactive thing. It's a reactive thing.
Yeah.
Like, hey, why are you taking these earnings away from me? So,
yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah. I mean, the number one thing is try to get that address change. And I mean, I probably did over the weekend where they didn't do it. They're like, oh, they put in Hopcat, and they're like, oh, what's a good bar to go to? And they're like, oh, we want to go to the Bob. I'm like, these guys are like 35 and kind of rednecky, you know what I mean? I'm like, you don't want to go to the Bob for drinks. Like, that is not a place. Like, I would never
Back
go.
40.
Yeah, well, no, I actually
that's kind of
that's kind of
Founders.
Nah,
Really?
I mean, I think these guys just wanted to drink Budweiser. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I said,
Twisted Bull.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I said Broadway bar, and then we go there, and there's a line. I said, okay, we're going to the Blue Dog Tavern, which I'm sure that was perfect for them.
Oh,
yeah. But what I did is I didn't change it. I didn't have them change it. They weren't from here, and I probably should have. But again, it was just, I knew where those bars were, so I just drove to them. So although you kind of got to get the feeling, though, you wonder if they're going to actually say anything. And these guys were cool. They're like, yeah, just take us wherever. But you just never know. You wake up and you're negative in your account.
Yeah.
So you're like, what the heck?
What happened?
So, and the other thing that kind of went on over the weekend is the ticketing is getting ramped up.
They are. It's crazy.
So I didn't look at my videos, but I got one guy getting a ticket on my dash cam. I think Ben got one. I think our other buddy Jesper got a couple too. So
I watched him. I was right there. I park in the hotel.
Right.
And I just watched him.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Like, well, you got to remember though, there's 600-700 people in that Facebook group. How many drivers aren't in that group?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. So they may not, they might not see, hey, you should probably not do this. And one thing that happened to me that night at the hotel is security came up to me because I have my little Uber. I have a Uber Lite in a Lyft one. Like I got off eBay. So it just kind of lights up and I think he saw that.
Right.
He's like, hey, how long are you going to be here? I said 5 minutes or less. And I said, if they don't show up, I'm canceling and moving on. And he's like, okay, because last night a couple of rideshare drivers just parked their cars here and left.
What?
I'm like,
that's bizarre.
Nobody did that.
That doesn't make sense. I'm like,
No.
maybe some people did that. I mean, why would rideshare drivers leave their car unless they decided, hey, I'm going to go drink or whatever?
I'm just going to leave my car.
Right. He was super cool though, and I was really worried. I kind of gave him a little bit of a toot. Like I didn't lie to him, but I was like, yeah, I'm rideshare driving. And what did he say? Like, are they coming right now? And I'm like, yeah, they should be here. I just was like, oh, crap, we're going to get kicked out. Because I had just said to these guys on app we use called Telegram, I was like, at some point, the hotel is going to kick us out.
Yeah.
I mean, as people start not parking in front of the Bob, the hotel is going to kick us out.
I just go to the other side, too, by 20 Monroe Live.
Yes, that is another place.
There is a little area.
Loading zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And as soon as that construction's done too, that'll be much nicer over there.
Yeah.
But have you picked people up from the Bob and told them that you're over by 20 Monroe?
Well, I call them first. When I see the Bob, the first thing I do is call.
Yeah.
And I kind of observe if they've been drinking or if they're really drunk.
Yeah.
If I feel they're really drunk, then I'll tell them to go by the less busy street rather than cross the road and have them, potentially get hit by a car. So I evaluate the situation the best I can.
Yeah.
And then have them come to me.
Yeah. I feel like, though, if they're super drunk, I know you don't want them across the street, but it's much easier for them to come across the street and try to explain. Because some people don't even know what 20 Monroe is.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, a lot of the concert people do, but if you get some 21-year-old dancing their butt off and they're like, they're probably not going to concerts at 20. I mean, maybe not.
Well, you could also tell them, go around like you're going to go to the Van Andel, but stay on that sidewalk, and then I'll be right there. And if I can show you, you can't.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to the show. We would really love if you could review us on iTunes. It would really help us boost our rankings in the search area. The things that we need you to do is we need you to subscribe. We need you to leave a star review and a text review. If you do all three of those things, that would be awesome, and it would really help us out. Thanks.
see it. I have this thing. Is my purse here?
The dog
That I got. It is so cool. Can you hand me my purse?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Come on, Ben.
It looks good on you, Ben.
Yeah,
it's your color.
for me.
Okay, so this is really cool. I have this, and you go. It's a light.
Okay.
And then it'll have a big flash or like this, and it's a magnet, and it sticks up on your car.
Okay.
So if you're in a crowded area, like a concert, you say, "I'm the one with the blinking light."
Very smart.
Yeah, and they come right to you, and
that's
it's pretty
great.
cool.
That's great.
So that's what I do.
Yeah, I know Lyft has got their amps out now, and they finally are shipping them to GR. Although
only if you have a certain number of rides.
So yeah, you have to do 250 Lyft rides in 90 days, something like that, which doesn't seem like a lot, but for us, I mean, I'm doing both, but I'm only working on the weekends. So it used to be if you did 250 rides, they send it to you. Like, doesn't matter the time frame. But
what is it now? What?
It's called a Lyft amp. Ben's probably going to Google it.
No, I'm just starting my fact check list.
Good idea. We do a little after podcast where we all talk out of our butts and then we fact check if it's really real or not.
Oh, cool.
It's usually just like 10 minutes of us just ranting. But it's a little light that lights up and it matches, the color changes to the passenger says sees it's yellow and the light will change to yellow.
Oh, nice.
So Uber launched something like that called the Beacon, like, gosh, a year and a half ago, but they've never, I think they're just starting to come around, like around some of the markets, but it was supposed to be the same thing. It was this bar, kind of like you had, that ran the length of your windshield, like up and down, real skinny. Sure. Same thing. The light matches with, but that's a great idea. I mean, until that stuff comes to fruition.
Yeah.
It's
really
super
worked.
Great.
I've used it a couple times and they were very happy.
Especially at like concert pickups and stuff.
Like at I don't know. What is that place on Ann Street or by Ann?
Oh, the Deltaplex?
Oh, I hate that place.
That's an S show.
Oh, it is. It is. It really is.
Because the only way you really can pick them up is in that turnaround. Mm-hmm. And then if you get an a-hole security guy,
they won't let you through.
It won't let you through, or they say you got to keep moving. I'm like, well, what are we supposed to do?
Just circle.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's a little circle. Tip for that is there is a street that runs behind the Deltaplex that would say, east-west, right? Mm-hmm. I think where I'm at. Tell them to go there. And your light would be perfect for that because it's kind of on a hill, so they do have to climb up a little bit of a hill, but I mean, it's not terrible. It's like 100 yards.
I just say, I'm picking up my little girl.
Oh. At the Marilyn Manson concert?
Yeah. Well, they don't know. Right. Okay.
But yeah, I don't remember the street name, but...
is it Hillside?
Could be.
I think so.
Sounds familiar. Yeah. That's what the Lyft amp looks like.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah, I see it's green there.
And, okay.
It'll do, it'll put messages on the back of it for your riders, too.
Cool.
You can,
Really?
Yeah, it scrolls messages. And I think you can put whatever you want in there.
Wow.
So, yeah. Jesper has one. He doesn't use it, but I should borrow that from him.
Lyft isn't as popular, is it, in Grand Rapids?
It's not.
It doesn't seem to be, no.
I mean, for goodness sakes, I'll be out the airport and I'll get a Lyft request in Allendale.
Yeah.
So,
I've heard that.
I mean, I'm not going to take them. I don't take anything more than 8 minutes away.
Do you get penalized for not taking the ride?
So, the same policy for Uber for acceptance rating where they will not... you will not get deactivated for acceptance rating. Do you know that? You're looking at me like you might not know that.
No, I'm just thinking acceptance and cancellation.
Yeah,
my cancellation was 27% last weekend.
Yeah, mine was 25. So
oh, good. Okay.
You're not
okay.
Yeah,
it happens.
And especially when I run both apps.
Yep.
Sometimes I get one that's way better on the other one. Like, I don't always shut the other one off right away.
Yeah.
I'm like, we'll flirt with it a little bit as we're driving to the Uber one. And then all of a sudden a Lyft Plus comes up that's 400%. I'm going to cancel the Uber and take the Lyft.
Right.
And so, but you can't do too many of those. I mean, you're right. But
I was once deactivated for too many cancellations.
For Uber? How long?
On Uber.
For how long?
Not long. I mean, I just went to the green light hub and they
Oh,
put me
okay.
right back online.
Because I thought for sure I was a goner.
Yeah. This is like 2 years ago.
Can you pull your mic up a little bit more? You don't have to lean forward. Just pull your mic up a little more. Still stay comfortable. Thank you.
Yes, Jason.
Well, I'm just looking at the. I've got you bumped up so high, but then you scream and then it goes really high.
Ah.
Yeah, like that. I didn't know that.
Yeah. That was the thing 2 years ago.
What was your cancel? Oh, for acceptance, you said?
No, it was cancellation.
No,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's still.
I
a
got
thing.
deactivated.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yep.
I knew everything about you.
I know, man. This is back in the day when Tiger was working at the Green Light Hub.
I don't know anyone that's worked there. I've been there one time.
It was odd because Tiger was also in the rideshare drivers group, and he worked at the Green Light Hub.
That's weird.
So, yeah, once
and you knew that he didn't have a problem hiding it.
Well, nobody in the group knew that he was working at the hub until I informed them. I was like, pretty sure Tiger just helped me at the Green Light Hub.
Okay.
I'm not sure I like that he's in this group. That was back in the Uber Michigan group.
I was going to say, because I've never heard that name. That name would stand out to me. If
Tiger.
Tiger Wynn.
Tiger Wynn.
Yeah.
Tiger blood.
Like Tiger Woods.
So.
Huh. All right. Well, don't park in front of the Bob like a dumbass.
Yes.
That's basically
the
gist of it. And
it's not worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it. It's not worth the ticket. Gosh, there were so many cops there this weekend.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
Like
and I couldn't believe there were
more.
still people there, even when the cops were there. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Well, they probably figure they're there for like a fight or something like that. You know, they're probably not there to give tickets out. They just I got to pick up my passenger.
I mean, it's been on the news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just Facebook.
That was my fault. Sorry.
It's always your
Real
fault.
nice, Ben.
All right, we'll transition to Amy here. So we're going to ask you some questions. And
Hey.
I'm sure a lot of people want to get perspective of a female driver.
Sure.
And we've had CC in, but it's always good to get another female in here to kind of see how you do things. And I won't ask you all this. I'll ask you, do you like Uber or Lyft better? But I know the answer. She doesn't drive for Lyft. I already hit her up. So stop.
Shucks. No promo code for me.
Well, she said, so Tim wants you to sign up with his, but you don't want to? Oh, I used
No,
the name.
no.
That was trouble.
No. I just don't know if I want to get that involved.
Well, if you
It's a lot to balance.
It is a lot to balance. In fact,
I just like to go out and drive, really.
right.
You
In
know?
fact, I run a tablet for Lyft and I use Uber with my phone. So just I can do it on both, but I mean, I'm messaging on my phone, so I try to keep it as.
I could do that too. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's just I don't want to.
Well, for just do it for the $500 bonus.
Maybe I will.
And then don't do it anymore if you don't want to.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And if you're using it, if you're driving full time for whatever reason, if Uber says, yeah, you're deactivated.
Right.
You're SOL, right? But if you have Lyft, at least you have something to fall back on.
Right.
So
sure.
I would think about it.
Sure.
So what kind of vehicle do you use for rideshare driving?
2009 Kia Sorento, but I always forget and call it a cilantro.
A cilantro.
Because I forget. Yeah, it's
isn't that a mint or a dress?
It's like a taco seasoning or something. I did say that once. What are you driving? A Kia Cilantro, and they're like, "What?"
Awesome. And if they were drunk, they would not even notice the difference.
They're like,
all they heard was Kia, and their brain shut off.
That's right.
What are some negative experiences you've had with rideshare driving?
I've driven a lot for me, I feel, almost 2,000 rides. And I had one really bad thing happen. I don't know if you want a story, but I can give you a story.
Stories are
I
great.
think you posted about it on the group, maybe.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so this creepy guy, I picked him up.
Of course it's a creepy guy.
Yeah,
He's a creepy guy. And he was drinking, but he wasn't, he wasn't like that. Right. He says he gets in the car and he looks at him, he goes, I had a mental breakdown today. And I'm like, oh, great. This is how it's going to end for me.
Where are we going? How long am I in this?
Yeah, this is how it's ending. This is what's going to happen. So I started fidgeting a little bit. He goes, "Are you okay? Are you feeling okay?" And I said, "Oh yeah, I'm good." "Why?" He says, "I'm a very bad man."
Oh my God.
I'm like, "Oh, why do you say that?" Thinking he's going to tell me he killed someone.
Right.
And he says, "I'm just a bad man. My wife left me and my kids hate me." And I said, "Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. But you'll be okay." And inside, I'm thinking, oh my gosh. So, he says, "I want to stop and get some cigarettes at Meyer gas station." And I said, "Okay, great, perfect. I'm going to escape." And as he was getting out, he touched my face. He goes, "You're so pretty."
Oh, no.
Like in his creepy old man voice, "You're so pretty." And I just said, "Thanks." Oh, I took off like a bat out of HE double
Oh my gosh.
No kidding.
It was so scary. And I called Uber to tell them what I did, because I've never done that before,
Right.
but I felt that it was important. My life was in danger, and it wasn't worth it to me.
No.
Seriously.
He rated me a 1 star. I'm like, what?
Well, yeah, you knew that was going to happen.
Oh,
Because it
yeah.
took off. I mean,
know.
that's as soon as you make those decisions, you're like, well, there goes my rating. 'Cause-
Well,
Although
I think they changed it back.
Okay, I was going to say.
Because I talked to, how you, how do I say this in it? So when you call support,
Mhm.
you go to like probably a
India.
different country or
Yeah,
whatever,
yep.
which is cool. That's fine. Whatever.
It
They've
happens.
always been nice. Not like they would. Okay. So anyway, I sound like my mother. I'm sorry, people. Okay. So then, a lady called me back from the United States
Yeah.
right away and said, "Are you okay? We're so sorry this happened to
Right.
you. What can we do?"
$100 bonus.
No, and I
right.
was like, "You know what? I'm fine, and everything's okay." I just really appreciated that they took the time
Yeah.
to have somebody actually call and and who legitimately seemed concerned about my
Yeah.
well-being. That was really cool. But right after that, I just kept driving because I knew if I didn't, I would probably never drive again.
Yeah.
It really creeped me out.
That is
for
creepy.
sure.
Yeah, it was
Man.
bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
So-
And especially, I mean, this is not sexist, but being a woman, I mean, there's a little extra risk. I mean, guys are creepy.
They are,
It's true.
and I try to.
Especially Jason.
I just said especially.
I try, if I feel like I'm in a vulnerable position, I try to puff out my chest a little bit and
Yeah.
be very confident and not
Yes.
rude but assertive.
Mhm.
And but inside I'm like, "Oh my God, don't hurt me." Don't hurt
Right.
me." But you don't want them to know that, because then they will take advantage of that.
I do tell that to new female drivers.
Yeah.
I say, you just need to own your car. This is your
Yes.
car. You don't have to be a bitch about it, but
Yes.
be like, greet them first. Because when
Mhm.
you greet somebody first, you're establishing not the dominance, but you're saying, "Hi, how are
Right.
you?" Blah blah blah.
Right.
Instead of letting them do it, and it seems weird, but
No,
there's science behind that.
Oh yeah.
I do. I'll wave. I'll go,
Yeah.
"Hi," like I'm their long lost aunt.
Yeah.
"Hi," and they look at me and they do that, and then they look at your friends like, "Oh, I'm waving."
so
weird."
true.
It's
Yeah.
funny.
I was at Vito's
Yeah.
Pizza a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
and I was there with Jesper. We were just grabbing a bite to eat.
Right.
All of a sudden, Amy pulls up and just starts waving, and she's like, "Hi, are you Ben?"
I did do that.
I'm like, I'm looking around and I'm not seeing anybody
You're like,
else.
am I on hidden camera?
Actually,
Yeah.
I was like, but I'm a driver.
They're like, "No, I'm a driver."
That's so funny.
It was so hilarious. So you're totally right. Amy is like super friendly and waving and greeting and assertive, and so well done.
Yeah, it definitely works. I mean,
They love it. It establishes the whole
it
ride,
does.
and I think that's one of the reasons why my rating is high. And I
I
hate
agree.
to sound like that, but
No.
you set the precedence and you ask them questions. People love to talk about themselves, and
Yes.
if you don't like people, don't drive.
Yep.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Period.
Yeah,
you know?
unless you want to drive in the morning on the weekends when everyone's hungover and just doesn't want to talk.
Sure. Yeah.
Or on their way to work or
Right.
whatever, and don't want to talk. I'm a morning person, so it doesn't bother me, but I'm sure there's people that aren't morning people that if they got in an Uber and someone started talking to them, be like, bro,
yeah.
going to work.
They would
Can you just leave me alone?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Shut up.
Well, yeah, that is kind of weird. I don't think I've ever been touched on the side of, well, I've had people touch my beard, but they usually ask permission first. So.
It's like petting your dog. Can I pet your dog? Can I touch your face?
I've had people do that. That couple from that Delta or the country B93. They were like, oh my gosh, we got married in Vegas. I'm like, me too. And they're like, we have to show you our dog right when I drop them off. And I'm like why
not
is
a picture like the real dog?
Yeah, I'm like, why is this happening? I'm like, okay, just stay there. And I'm staying in their driveway, and they bring this bulldog out, put it in my passenger
Oh my word.
in their little puppy. I'm like, what are you doing?
This triggered my memory. What's the weirdest or coolest thing you've gotten from a passenger? Because I got a story about that. I know we're getting off topic here a little bit, but it just...
I use it almost every day. I have a Bose Bluetooth speaker that somebody left in my car and never claimed it.
But they didn't give it to you. I mean, in a way they did.
Yeah, I mean...
Those are like a couple $100.
I know. And they never wanted it back.
And you reached out? Or
I did. I knew what trip it was and everything. They never responded.
They probably stole it.
I still have it if they ever want it back. So if you're out there listening...
That's really...
$50.
Yeah,
yeah,
You can
right.
have it back. Storage fee.
Other than that, oh my gosh. Did I tell the popsicle story?
No.
That was probably the weirdest thing anybody has ever given me.
That is weird because
Popsicles.
for what we do... Frozen? Like a box?
No, like one. Because she grabbed one for herself on the way out, and she said, I just didn't feel right with just taking one for me and not bringing you one.
Oh, so you picked her up from her home.
Yes.
Did you eat it?
Did you say,
Yes.
ew, it's orange. I want the blue
Well, it was
one.
the red, white, and blue popsicle.
Those are so good.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Star Spangled Banner.
yeah, so it's a ride from Ada, and she's going all the way to the northwest side of town. So she initially offered me the popsicle, and I just said, no thanks. I'm good. And she said, oh, well, it's the red, white, and blue ones. And I was like, no, it's okay. I don't need any. And she's like, okay, but what am I going to do with this extra popsicle?
Good for her.
And I'm thinking, seriously? Just, I don't care. Throw it out the window.
Yeah.
And then she asks again, are you sure you don't want it?
I think she was trying to hit on you.
It was weird.
Well, I mean, come on. Who asked that many times if
I
you
know.
want a popsicle?
So I said, fine. So she hands it up, and she's like, they are so good. And this is also the girl that called me when I pulled up to her house to tell me that she was brushing her teeth and that she would be right out. Who brushes their teeth and then eats a popsicle?
Yeah, it's a little weird.
So
that mint flavor with
seriously.
that's like un-American.
That's
you eat a
psychotic.
Star Spangled Banner popsicle after you brush your teeth.
I know.
It tastes terrible.
So that was by far the weirdest thing.
Maybe she did a water
pastor's ever
brush.
given. Maybe. I don't know.
Can you call her and ask? Excuse me, miss.
Were you cresting it or was it water?
What about you?
What about me?
Yeah, what about you?
Strangest
Oh boy, I don't even know
That's okay.
if it's allowed. And no, it's not. But okay, so this is what happened. I picked up this guy from Anasasands. I'll make it quick.
Anasasands.
Well, I don't know what they call it anymore.
Yeah.
That's what we called it back in the day.
I don't think it's called that anymore, but I remember that back in the
Yeah.
day. I mean, I grew up here I'm 42, so I grew up here my whole
Okay.
life, but I remember those days.
Yes.
Play pool there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did, and I dropped him off, and then I got another ping, and it was him again. I'm like, I just dropped you off. Where do you want to go? He says, I forgot my laptop in my truck. So I had to go to Dave & Buster's or whatever, get it. And he looked at me. He was a kid too, maybe 28 or whatever. He says, if you shut your app off right now and you take me to the casino, I'll give you $100 to play and $300 if you stay.
What?
And I said, Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it was late. I'm like, oh, it's going to be a long night.
Yeah.
So I went, and I'm not a gambler, really.
None.
So I only gambled 20 of it. And I stayed at the table with him for a while.
Okay.
He was really cool, very respectful. You know, it was just like two buddies going to the casino or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I got tired, and I'm in the like high stakes room, and I'm like trying to, I fall asleep. He's like, you can go home now. He goes, my friend is going to pick me up later. And he gave me the money.
He still gave you the 300?
He gave me the money,
Wow.
and that was it. Yeah, it was weird. And it was just before Christmas, so I was so thankful for that. But yeah.
Dang.
That's crazy.
It was good. It was a good night.
I had similar with that. I took a guy to the casino, and we were negotiating on the way down how much he was going to pay for me, and I didn't have to go inside.
Yeah.
I just had to sit in my car.
Yeah.
It ended up not working out, and I drove back, but he was like $150 for like 2 hours.
That's amazing.
I'm like, yeah, I'll stay. But then he was like, got cheap on me, or his buddy's
What?
like, no, that's too much. So they were like arguing back and forth. I'm like, this is not going to end well. So I ended up dropping him off, and I'm like, peace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you guys aren't going to pay me that, I'm not going to stay around.
Right.
No kidding.
So the strangest thing I had a rider. I took him over, I don't know, somewhere over by the zoo, and we're talking about bands. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I love Rage Against the Machine, Nirvana, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And we started talking about records a little bit. And he gave me I drop him off. He's like, I got something for you. He gave me like a Nirvana 45.
Wow.
Like, yeah, I know, right?
That's
I'm like,
so cool.
I don't have a record player. I think it's up in my closet, but I'm like, I still don't have a record player, but I thought it's super weird, right? Like, I mean, I don't even know. It's probably not worth anything, but he was just so happy because I like Nirvana. Like, he really wanted to give it to me. I mean, super drunk. Yeah. But it's always weird. Like, I'm going to go in my house and come back out with something. You're like, do I take off? Like,
I gotta know.
Right,
I gotta know.
Right? Like, do I take? Nah, I'm staying. It's
Have
fine.
you ever been inside a passenger's house?
I have not.
No.
Have you?
Yep.
That doesn't surprise me. For what?
Oh,
Trying to get them in because they were drunk?
No, I don't really know why. This is back in my early days of driving. This is probably 3 years ago now.
Okay.
But I drove a guy to Cannonsburg, and he had a real nice house, and he was in sales, so we were just talking business.
Right.
And he's like, hey, you want to get out of the car for a minute? Maybe grab a drink? And I was like, sure.
Ben was getting hit on again.
No.
Come here, boy.
Yeah.
Come here.
So I went inside, and he wanted to, I think part of the reason I went inside is because he wanted me to look at his printers. I sell office equipment.
Printers.
Yeah.
Printer's code word for his butt.
So nothing strange happened. I mean, I had a Diet Coke. He showed me his printer.
I bet he did. You naughty little boy.
Like what, 15 minutes?
Yeah, it was about that.
Yeah.
Was it a nice printer?
It was wow. It was it left a lot to be desired.
It was probably a Canon. Some homeowner crap.
A Canon.
Yeah. It was inkjet. It was a little dried up, so.
So he was older.
Oh my gosh, you two. Now Ben's running with it. First he was like, no, I'm not going to say anything.
So yeah, I don't, to this day, I still don't know why I went inside. Like, I'm playing scenes in my head of things that could have happened. Like, that was really dumb.
Well, it was dumb because, I mean, you just don't know anything about. Oh, yeah, I thought it was my printer. Or my printer.
That's what she said.
Oh, boy. My TV.
Or he said.
All right, let's get back on topic. Oh, God. Cheers.
Wow. We're so far off track.
I know, and we are so far off track, and like time wise, we're like 45 minutes in, and we haven't even got to these questions or got into our rideshare stuff. Issues that you see being a female driver. I mean, we kind of touched on it a little bit, but like just being afraid or.
I think one of the biggest things is when a man is drunk and they're by themselves and they're really drunk, they can really get out of control.
Right.
I think an important thing to do is not to instigate anything.
Kind of agree
Just
with them.
Agree with them. Go with the flow.
Right.
Hey, oh yeah. And when it starts getting weird, because drunk guys talk real weird.
Especially when I would guess it's just one guy and you.
Just one guy, yeah.
If it's two, you got his buddy there, and he's like, I'm not going to be a weirdo.
Yes. But that is, and then there was also, this is really important, and I'm glad I remembered. I drove two guys home from, it's on Bridge Street, forgot the name. Anyway, and I had the weirdest feeling. And I drove them, and then they canceled right in the middle. And they kept asking me these really weird questions.
Oh, boy.
And
that's creepy.
It was really creepy.
Yeah.
Almost to the fact where I thought, I know this is going to sound weird, but I could not ever get the thought out of my head that these people were like human traffickers.
Yeah.
One was a little well, they just didn't fit into the
scene.
Grand Rapids mold and especially where they were and everything like that. Just different. They looked like they were, out of towners.
Yeah.
So, but I never remembered where. I know it was Leonard, but that's really scary. And I think about that now too. I mean, I look like a mom, but like these younger drivers, these girls, that's something that they're really going to have to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you recommend other female drivers doing it? Like if someone came up to you, let's say that you felt that they couldn't command their car, would you say? I mean, if
they're submissive, which is okay. Everybody has their own different personalities. Then don't do it.
Yeah.
Because there are, not so nice people out there. We don't really see it a lot in Grand Rapids.
Right. It is a pretty safe community.
Yeah,
I mean, you've
it is.
done close to 3,000 rides. I've done probably 2,000.
Right.
I mean, and we've not had too many incidents.
Right.
I mean, never had to. Well, Ben has had called the cops a couple of times, but
but you guys are also guys too.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
And for when like a 20-year-old girl asks me from Allendale about it, I tell them if they can't control their car,
right.
they don't feel confident, if they don't have that little spunk, don't do it.
Right.
Because I don't want to be responsible.
Right. Right. Do you think female drivers receive more tips?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know that's kind of a hypothetical question because you don't really know. You don't have any stats on it, but
right. I make between not the last couple of weeks, but average $60 to $70 a week in tips.
Okay,
and I think that's pretty average for everybody.
I feel like when I used to wait tables, I felt like the females did better.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I mean, it's just one of those things. I would try to be super nice,
sure,
but. Yeah, I kind of feel like female drivers get more tips, but
maybe they probably do,
especially with the creepy old guys. But
yeah, he didn't tip me that night.
A last question is: there is a woman-only rideshare company in Canada. Would that be something you'd be interested in? Basically, you're only picking up female passengers.
I actually thought about that in my head when I first started Ubering, and I Googled it, and of course found that there was one in California that just went bankrupt, so they didn't really get their start.
Yeah,
which really bothered me. So I thought, well, I wonder what it would take to have it just in Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
Because every time I pick up a female, I'm so glad you're a female.
Right.
I'm so glad you're a female. Because it's, hard to get. I've never Ubered in my whole life.
See, I feel every driver should be a passenger.
I don't think I want to.
But you should do it anyways, just so you can get the feeling. And
yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
And lots of times I don't tell them that I'm a driver just to see what they say just for fun. Mm-hmm. But if they seem to be honest, then I'll let in that I am. But if they're giving me a line of BS, and that's me being in Tennessee or Chicago or wherever I'm traveling, I do the same thing. But you should take it as either go out or
Yeah.
run some errands with it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's super cheap. But
I had a driver actually come in and somebody cut in front of us and I accidentally gave him the mom arm.
oh yeah.
Like, yeah.
My
he's like,
gosh.
I'm like, sorry. Hey, at least you know I care about
Right,
you. Okay.
that's funny. Just on that female
Yeah.
only or woman only rideshare company, it's called Drive Her. But I think
I would do it.
I think Uber's missing the boat.
Yeah.
Like, why don't they just say you can choose a female driver?
Yeah.
Or are they worried about the times? Because, like, what if the closest female driver is 20 minutes away? I doubt it on a bar night. I doubt that. But
yeah,
I think they should have the opportunity.
That's a good point. If you want to wait, this is
right.
Person A is a female, or you can get a regular driver or a guy, and he can be there in 2 minutes. That's a good idea.
They don't have to make it hard.
No, that's actually, I don't know why they haven't jumped on board.
I don't either.
Even if it costs a little bit more, I mean, they could do whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
I think a lot of drivers would like that. And I think a lot of passengers would like that too.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, now with Uber's self-driving car, kind of the kibosh has been put on that.
Right.
They're trying to push this bike sharing stuff now. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It's like, why would you do that when you could have a really good idea like a female only option?
Right.
Like call it Uber She or something.
Yeah.
Like, why would you invest your money in
Schuber.
Why would you invest your money in a bike
bikes.
share? Like,
is it bikes or scooters? I thought it was electric scooters. Or is
I
it
don't know.
legitimate pedal bikes?
I thought it was pedal bikes.
It's the dumbest thing I ever heard.
It totally is.
Who's going to ride a pedal bike?
Fact check that.
Yeah, please. Who's going to ride? Who's going to do a pedal bike unless you're in a college town?
Cilantro.
All right. We'll get into rideshare in the news. Thank you for those answers,
It's
Amy.
an herb. Yes, no problem.
I don't know if it's an herb.
It is. It's an herb.
You didn't see that, did you?
No, I didn't see anything.
I forgot the S on scooter.
Cooter. Took me 2 seconds to take the S off, apparently.
What would you, can I ask you a question really quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
What would you feel, do you think men would be upset if there were that for women? You know, if there was a ride share
just for women?
With Uber, like Uber?
No. I mean, it does take away some of your money, though. I never thought about. I wouldn't be upset for like sexist or anything. I don't really give a crap. I think it's great to protect the females is important to me, but it would suck to lose that income.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
I almost feel Uber is doing that already because I get a lot of women.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. I wonder if they do have in their, now I can't say this word, so you can mock me. Algorithm. I said it right. That they know, like they can. It's so quick that they can be like, oh, it's a female driver. Let's try to pair her with.
Yeah.
Instead of just being the closest driver every single time. But,
yeah. I don't know if they can do that. Just maybe it's,
yeah,
just how it is.
Well, there's rumors going around, and they have for years that they pair people with higher rated drivers. Some will get like newer passengers just because
I see a lot of
rated.
5s.
Yeah.
Which means new.
Yeah. I always hate when I see a 5, especially at the airport.
I know.
They requested right off the tarmac. I'm gonna be super pissed at 5 minutes in, and I text them, and they're like, "Oh, we're still getting our bags."
Don't request until you have your bags.
Right? Yeah, I would usually lecture them. So, do you want to go to those links now? I don't have a ton of videos, but the rideshare in the news, you can bring that. Back up there. So when you click on it, a link should pop up in the bottom. There you go. So we should do a couple things about rideshare in the news and then current events and stuff like that. But basically, this is about, there's no video, so it's just an article.
Okay.
Basically, Too Drunk to Drive, Uber, I hate that. No, thank you. Uber basically is going to detect if you're too drunk to request an Uber. I don't know if you read this article, but basically they're going to figure out how you're texting. And how you request, which is weird though. When you request a ride, it's like 2 clicks. But if you took a ride as a passenger, you would know.
Right.
I got something white on my mic. Oh, it's spit. So yeah, they're gonna do the
I read the article on the Facebook page.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? I feel like, and what I wrote on my little thing, will Apple allow this much invasion on their platform? Because Android's like, whatever. But Apple locks
I don't think they're going to stand for it.
I don't think they will either. Like keystrokes and everything, like Apple can do that. We're okay with that. But having Uber be able to do that, and it said match riders with drivers who have relevant training, or are they actually going to deny that request? They're actually going to turn down money? No way. No way.
I think they should have the passenger have 5 little smiley face emojis and say, so rate what you are right now.
Or on a scale of 1 to 10, what kind of night you're having or something.
Yeah, something like that. So they give the information.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's super creepy.
It's creepy.
So I guess it's in the patent stage now. So they've submitted for a patent, but it's not released yet.
From typos. Okay, how are you going to get typos if you're not messaging your driver, the passenger, or can they see other apps? That's the creepy part.
Yeah.
How are they going to know typos if you're? What are they? They see you texting your boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife?
Seriously,
that's super weird.
Yeah, the permissions are going to change on that app.
Yeah.
Huh. And what if, take it a step farther, if they're that drunk, do they get permission to rate? You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's so many variables.
Yeah. I don't want some crazy drunk person rating me.
That's why I feel like someone needs to start another company. And now I know there's one out called Juno. That's in New York. I know it's slowly growing.
Yeah.
And there was that Arcade City, which was a debacle because that CEO was a complete psycho.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know why we call him a CEO, but I feel like we've figured out so many things. And of course, all that costs money. I understand that. And I'm sure there's a lot of ideas, but man, Uber hasn't taken any of those. They just try the bike thing, the Uber airplane or whatever they're doing.
Uber ice cream.
What?
That was a thing a couple years ago.
Uber ice cream?
Yeah. So they partnered with Love's Ice Cream for a 1-day promotion.
Okay.
Where you could request like Uber X, Uber XL, and Uber ice cream.
That's actually a good idea.
And a driver would bring you ice cream. I was going to be one of those drivers, but I had to work that day.
That's a good idea. In fact, there's times where I really want a pint of Ben & Jerry's, but I'm so lazy that I do not want to go a mile down the road to Meijer to pick up a pint. And I would pay for it.
Uber Punchki.
Yeah, I do. They've done that for a couple of years. But that's, I don't know. They're not that good.
They're not.
I do it for a pierogi.
A pierogi.
Uber pierogies.
All right. What's next up? Oh.
Ben would do it for a printer.
An old printer.
Dried out.
All right. This is a YouTube video. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Before you hit that, my speaker turns off automatically. There you go. Let's try it.
This was hysterical.
It was very hysterical.
I saw it. It's not really news, but it's comedy. It's funny.
Of course. On your computer, you need to get grammar.
Thanks for the
I
ad.
read pretty much all day, every day.
All right.
Tired of working a 9 to 5? Want more time for yourself, for your family? Drive Rideshare. You can make your own hours on your own time, giving you freedom to spend less time working and more time doing what your heart desires. Side effects may cause stress, headache, weight gain, and anxiety. You should not be a rideshare driver if urinate frequently,
Jason.
tempered, impatient, do not like driving over 18 miles for $3.75. Passengers can report you at any moment and get you deactivated without any probable cause. May get robbed, stabbed, or shot in some cases. Ask your local rideshare drivers for more information. Let's hear from our satisfied drivers.
Love your freedom. Thanks, Rideshare.
Finally quit my 9 to 5. I haven't paid taxes since I started. I pay child support when I want.
Hey, my wife think I'm at work every Friday night. What room number is that, girl?
So drive for Rideshare. Make your own hours so you can do what your heart desires.
That's
That was pretty
awesome.
clever.
So that's Terry Tips on YouTube. I've watched some of his other videos too, and they're pretty funny. So, what did you hear? Did you hear something?
No.
You, like, look around like this.
No, okay, no.
My house is super creaky.
No,
so.
I was just wondering if. Never mind. Nothing.
It's gone.
So yeah, that guy's pretty funny.
Really funny.
The next one is kind of a crappy one.
Is it a video?
No, that was our only video. I tried to find news stories like WGN Chicago apparently doesn't do videos, which we had a lot of videos last episode, but
yeah.
Basically, the Lyft driver and the motorist it collided with both were drunk. Or actually, they were both driving on influence. What I noticed, they were both under the influence of drugs. That's what it said.
A Lyft driver?
Lyft driver.
Are they talking like marijuana or
I don't
drugs?
know. My guess it was drugs. But the sad part of it was the Lyft passenger got killed.
Jeez.
Aww.
So the other two made it. I mean, obviously they're going to be charged, but
that's horrible.
Yeah, go down a little bit, Ben. I think there does say something about drugs. Yeah, under the influence of drugs. So,
what?
Just say no.
It was a female driver too.
Was it?
Elizabeth Renter.
I hope it's not marijuana because it's marijuana.
You go slow when
right.
you right.
My guess is it was.
Well, I heard somebody told me that.
Yeah, yeah, me too. So yeah, that's.
I've never smoked pot.
No.
Sorry.
Me neither.
My birthday is 4/20.
It is. I know what your birthday present is next year. It's just a crappy story. I know.
Yeah,
sometimes we get
horrible.
these terrible stories. We had some sad ones last week too, but. You know, every time you look at the news or you just search Uber Lyft crash and you will see like or shooting or whatever.
Yeah,
like there's never not enough
stuff.
Information or things to talk about with Uber and Lyft. So.
Well, you know, though, it's like flying an airplane. There are thousands and thousands of airplanes in the sky, and barely, out of all the drivers. There are going to be incidences. Yeah. That's just part of life.
Yeah, people don't understand. But what happens is Uber and Lyft gets clicks. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I have seen stories that it was like Uber driver shoots something. Well, come to find out, he wasn't even driving. Right. He just happened to be an Uber driver. So it's like you get the clicks, right? People are like, oh, another Uber driver going crazy. And you get the clicks and get the ad revenue and all that. And it's just, I'm like, come on, guys. Like,
it doesn't. I don't think it hurts us, though, in the long run.
No, I mean, I haven't seen any The only downfall I ever saw was when that delete Uber was going on, where was it the sexual assault or sexual harassment was going on with Travis?
Yep.
I've seen an uptick in Lyft and less in Uber, but anytime there's anything that happens, it's just like everyone's like, whatever. I think most people are getting it now that you're going to get some kooks.
Yeah, and I think we're so, like, we care, obviously. Yeah. But all this stuff happens all the time now.
Right.
So we're desensitized almost in a way.
Yeah. Another thing I was, what is this under? Oh. So I saw a couple of posts about Instapay not working. So this is just me. This is just a reminder for me. There's no link or anything. But apparently Uber stated the driver had a bunch of packs that had not paid, like they bounced, so they wouldn't let the driver cash out. Which is like, that's not my problem.
No. Yeah, exactly.
I should still get paid, but I think this is a new thing because I've been seeing it more and more on the national groups that they're just like, yeah, you can't cash out. You have to wait. Or you have to take more riders that pay their bill. So I'm thinking, doesn't Uber ping the card and say, ping it for like $25 or whatever, and they're like, oh, there's $25 in there. Why is that not happening?
Yeah, that's accounting. We should not have to be.
Well, it's not our problem that he doesn't have $25 in the account. Like,
right, exactly.
It's your job to. I mean, my guess is you'd still get your direct deposit, but maybe not. Yeah. What if you try to Instapay and then you stop driving till the following week? Because I always just do direct deposit. I've never used Instapay. So
it's 50 cents.
Yeah, but
It's not that anymore, though, with the Go card, is it?
Oh, it's free if you have the Go card.
Yeah.
And that Go card is amazing. But whatever.
Anyway.
I'm pissed at the Go card because
Really?
you can't sign up for it anymore. The link is bad in the app.
What?
And it's been like that for 2 months.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
I saved so much money from that card. Everywhere I go, gas,
Yeah.
You get
shop
cash
at
back.
Walmart,
I know.
cash back
Crazy.
all the time.
Yeah. I'm wanting to get it.
Yeah.
So, it's
Call them. I'll give you the number on the back of my card.
of GoBank.
Yeah.
It's not a GoBank problem. It's an Uber problem.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, I can show you on my phone. You go in there to click on to get it, and it just goes to a blank screen.
That's crazy.
And that's been the bug. And I emailed them about a month ago, and they're like, "Yeah, we're working on it." I'm like, "What are you working on? You're a technology company. Why haven't you debugged this issue?" And
Yeah.
I just gave up on it.
Yeah.
So I would use it, but
Yeah.
back to what I was saying. I'm wondering if they would not let you do if you stop driving, tried Instapay. They said no. I mean, maybe they would because the passengers put money in their account, but I think that's messed up.
It is messed
We're
up.
supposed to be, I mean, I guess that's an independent contractor thing. If your subcontractor or whoever you're working for doesn't pay you, I mean, I guess. But it's still, it just seems weird. I'm not expecting them to shell out millions of dollars for these people, but it can't be, I mean, it's just weird. I guess don't drive in the ghetto then. Don't pick people up in the ghetto.
Only pick up people who pay their bills.
Right. Next up, tip time. So I just kind of added this. This is kind of a growing podcast where we're like adding segments or whatever. Steps to get when you have a puker. Have you ever had a puker in your car?
3 times.
Oh, no way.
No, but they have not gotten anything on there because I have these huge trash bags.
Okay.
And I said, honey, just put your head way deep and down and throw up. I said, I'm not upset.
Right.
I'm okay with you throwing up as long as you do it in the bag and we'll be fine. And then you don't have to pay the $200. And I'm very calm.
Yeah.
And then they get relaxed and then they're relaxed enough not to freak out and throw up everywhere.
Right.
So,
That's a good idea.
yeah. And
So
3
motherly.
times they go and they take their little bag with them. It's funny to watch them walk
The bag
away
of
with their
shame.
bag. And I look before they leave, and I've never had any problem. The sound with one girl, I had to go home. It made me sick the whole night. But other than that, this one girl, she was 21. She says, "Thank you for having scented bags."
Oh my gosh. So what I typically do is I have these Medline bags. So they're smaller, which that is a drawback, but they can hold it right up to their mouth. But the problem is if they're super drunk,
Yeah,
and
they
miss,
can't do that. They're not coordinated.
I
enough.
had 2 people take them over the weekend. I have not used those things ever, and they're like, I think I'm going to throw up. I'm like, I usually keep it right next to me during bar time, and I just hand it to them. And 2 people took it, and they did not throw up in them. But I've never had even one. I mean, I've had pukers, but they've been silent. Like I didn't know what happened, or
Stealth
I've had
puke.
a mystery. I had a mystery puker where he puked and down the side of the door, and I only got $80 for it, but it wasn't super terrible. But the steps, I mean, I was hoping Nick would add to this, but he didn't, and that's okay because he's really good at this. But like, what do you do when you get a puker? So obviously, you pull over. Throw the person out, swear at them.
That's terrible.
I'm just kidding. I do get mad. Like when they say they're going to throw up, I'm like, bro, do not throw up in my car. Like I do not want, like I go the exact opposite because if it happens, obviously there's people that want the money. I don't want the money. I don't
either.
care. Like I'd rather earn my money
Absolutely.
the right way. I mean, if it happens,
come on.
Oh no, I'm the same way.
Thank you. I don't want puke in my
I don't
car.
want it.
I don't want to clean it up.
Disgusting.
But basically, you pull over and you take as many pictures as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And
There
upload.
is no step, though, to post those pictures on Facebook. That is not necessary.
Yeah, I don't need to see that. That's gross.
I forgot to lambaste whoever did that recently in the last week. They're like, I finally got a puker. Like, we all know what it looks like. I've seen.
We don't need a picture.
It's like the faces of death back in the day. Like you don't want to
So
go with
bad.
like
I
faces
know what you're
of
talking about.
puke. Like I don't need. I know what it looks like. I've done it myself.
And they get close up. They'll zoom that thing in and go, look
Like,
at that was the salmon sandwich that
was
they
cilantro.
had.
It was cilantro. So what do you do first? Yeah, you pull over, you take your pictures. I recommend taking the pictures in your camera app and not in the Uber app, because once you send them to Uber, they're gone. So if they said to you, I don't have these pictures, guess what? You've just cleaned up all the puke. It's gone. So take the pictures in your camera app and upload them that way. Yep. That's kind of like the new thing with the messaging in app now. Once you send that, or once you're done with the ride, it's gone. So if you have somebody that's giving you trouble or threatening, you should take a screenshot of that that messaging thing. So more and more people are finally updating their apps. I noticed over the weekend, most of mine were in-app chats and not text messages.
But we can't send in-app messages.
Yeah, you can.
How?
Right on the bottom.
I touch that and it takes me to my texting.
That means that passenger has not updated their app yet. Yeah, once they update their app, everyone does it through that way. Yeah, as soon as you go to the messaging, it pops right up. Hey, it says be careful, don't text and drive, whatever. You know, so
interesting.
Yep.
I don't like it that I have to click 8 times just to call them. Call? Please call. You want to call? You those pop-up things?
I don't get that.
Yeah.
I do it with Lyft. But not with Uber.
Yeah. Do you want a message or call? You press call. And then there's another one. And
do you
there's
have
3 of them.
Do you have the brand new app that they've been talking about?
I do, because I do have those text messages in the app.
No. So the new app, remember they had that big announcement like 2 months ago? You don't have that. I mean, you can bring it up. I could tell you if you do, but I don't remember
think that's out yet.
Huh?
I don't think we have it.
No, I don't think we do either, but she might, just randomly. It's been popping up more on the national groups quite a bit more.
Can you tell?
Oh, no, that's the old one. My rider was rude. I just saw something.
Yeah. Pissed me off.
Are you tattletaling on him?
Well, yeah, I was afraid they were going to.
Because you gave him some crap back?
No, I never really do that. He just was really weird. And I just had a sense about that. You know how you could just, people are awkward or something like that. So
I kind of got off topic, but the puking thing, you can, if it would benefit you to get more money if you can get a estimate from a detail place. Although typically on the weekends, I'm just going to clean it up. I'm not going to let it sit in there till Monday, but you can do that. And then I had something on how to keep someone from puking. And you talked about that a little bit, being motherly and stuff. What I do is I make it an ice box in there. I turn the air conditioning on.
Oh, yeah.
Even in the winter. It's going to be so cold. I don't care about anybody other passengers. I don't want that. Because you know, when you're sick, you get clammy and you're sweaty. Like, that's all you want it as cold as possible. Yeah. So other than that, I don't know. There are people that say they lock their windows out so that they don't get any puke down the window, because if it goes down the crack, you got to bust that door panel off.
Yeah.
And that gets, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I could do it, but I've never done it. I don't really want to do it.
Yeah.
But with the window up, it's got the rubber seals all the way across to hold the window there. And so.
Get a big bag. It's cheap.
It is cheap. It's
100 for $9. Just put their head right in there and shove it in there. And
it's not a bad idea. No. I mean, the chances of them missing it, as long as they get it open initially, you know what I mean? But I might have to think about that, because I've been a little bit worried about I think it is the Medline. I mean, you get them in the hospital. They give them to you in the hospital. And I don't know. It's not a bad idea. Did you get those
from your wife?
No, I actually order them on Amazon.
I don't trust them.
She deals with babies anyway, so they're not using that. Okay, questions for our local Facebook group. This is another segment, which can always be funny. Where's the proper place to drop off at the Bob? We kind of touch about that. Front of 20 Monroe. It's Ottawa Street.
That's probably the official spot.
That's the official spot, although it's going to get crowded there eventually. I mean, there's only really 2 loading zones, and there's valet there when there's a concert going on. So, I mean, I try not to park in front of there, but so that could get busy over there. So another question was, can I drive with a friend in the car for safety?
No.
So I think it was a new driver. I think she was worried about her safety, and man, she did get lambasted in that group. And
she had somebody join her.
I know.
In the car.
Yeah, I know.
I did that.
Did you?
With my mother. We had so much fun.
I'm sure you did.
Everybody loved it.
I'm sure. I'm sure. But what happens if you get too many passengers then?
We did.
So what'd you do?
I just started. They just shoved them all in there. But I was a new driver.
Okay.
I was a new driver, and
let-
she was scared. And I'm like, just come with me, and it'll be
Yeah.
fine. We went 6 rides. That's all.
Okay.
And there was like 3 times we shoved like 4 people in the back of my.
You
car.
never got any complaints? No one reported you? Or anything?
Everyone loved the fact that my mom is, really fun.
Yeah.
And it was the night that the strippers were there from, that.
Oh, the Chippendale or
No, from that movie.
Oh.
So we were driving a bunch of girls.
Well,
nice
you stopped
save.
yourself.
I think everyone knows what you were gonna say, but good save.
Some girls, and we had all so much fun. But no, it's not good to do that, and I do not do that now.
Clearly, because you're full time, and
Yeah,
that I think
you
that's,
gotta follow the rules.
I think that's one way to get deactivated in a hurry.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, I took a ride. Let's see. It wasn't far. I was at Bell Tire on Plainfield, and I had an appointment at a customer site down the road. It wasn't far. So I requested the Uber, and they pull up, and it's a female driver, clearly from the picture and her name, but she's not behind the wheel. She's in the passenger seat. And then there's some random guy in the driver's seat. So dude's using her account. He's driving, not her. It was so bizarre.
That's
You didn't
scary.
take that ride, did
I
you?
took it because I was just going around the corner. I tend to do stupid things.
Oh yeah.
sometimes.
If you listen to some of our podcasts, our older ones, Ben's done some dumb things. Like not
I just
when you-
don't think about my own safety.
right. When you sit down later at night, you go inevitably I hear you say, man, that probably wasn't the best idea. Like just the
Yeah.
safety part of it. But did you report them?
Oh, I absolutely did.
Thank you. And that's another thing. I know, again, off topic tonight, but man, if you have a bad experience as a rider, please report that driver. Even if it's me, I it's okay. I can take it. You know what I mean? But I mean, we just lambasted, we were talking with Megan up there about that Lyft driver. I mean, we were like 1 star and blah, blah, blah. And
Right.
just because, do you really want to get that driver again?
Yeah.
Right.
Let's get as
exactly.
many drivers that are terrible off the road as we can. So-
Absolutely.
I was hoping that my ride from this weekend, I hope that they would contact Uber because, I wanted to pocket that money, but it was one of those things where it was an honest mistake.
But you still use the time and the gas to
I
get
did.
them there. So,
So-
that's kind of like, I mean,
It's almost like too bad, so sad.
I
for
mean,
you.
Ben is super nice. Like, I'm just like, I don't care, man. Like, I'm getting paid. Like,
Yeah.
I worked. I mean, unless,
Yeah.
obviously someone down on their luck or whatever. But I've never refunded. I've had a couple of times where I felt really bad for the guy. Like, I've never gone in there and said, just refund the rider. But
Yeah, I did one time,
one time.
but it was a veteran. And
Yeah.
it's just like, you know what? He doesn't need to pay for this ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would
I-
be cool if
I
Uber
did
and
it too
Lyft,
once.
if you had the proof of the military ID that they just gave them free rides.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean,
They
the
should.
driver might get paid, but Uber should just swallow it.
Yeah.
And just be like, this is our service, but they're assholes.
If it's not a huge ride, I wouldn't mind doing it for free. Maybe a volunteer.
yeah.
Whatever rider wants to take, maybe 2 a day,
Yeah.
or something
That's not
like
bad.
that.
Yeah, if it's a short ride, if it's from like the west
Yeah.
side to downtown or whatever,
Yeah.
I think wouldn't have a problem with it. I wouldn't want to do it, 4 or 5 times a night.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why you have like 2 a day
Yeah.
or something like that. And if everybody did that, they would all have rides.
Yeah.
all
It's
the
like
time.
paying for somebody in line behind you at Starbucks or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pay it forward.
Yeah.
Drive it forward.
Drive
Drive
it
it
forward. We
forward.
should start that.
Hashtag drive it forward.
Hashtag me too.
Hashtag printer.
Oh man.
This is so
Old
bad.
man printer.
Can I say this?
I don't care.
I don't know.
Okay.
You're saying it.
So you know how remember on the phones where hashtag was a pound?
Yes.
Yeah.
I always call it pound, right? So at first that's how I read it. Was
Pound something.
hashtag me too. I was like,
Oh my god. No.
Pound Me Too? Like, that is a terrible name.
Yeah, like this is
so bad. Who thought of this?
Oh my gosh.
Horrible.
Amy with her comedy hour over here.
Seriously.
All right, let's jump on to current events. This is just kind of stuff that I picked out. The first one is
Pizza potholes.
Pizza potholes. So I got again, no videos, but I got super excited about this. Domino's is helping fill potholes. Well, when I found out they're just giving money. I mean, I wanted to see, because there's a picture somewhere on the web where a big old asphalt truck is like painted in Domino's.
It says Domino's, yeah.
And I was hoping that's what they would do, but basically they're just, if you vote that you have terrible potholes, they'll send some money. I think they're giving like $7.99 pizzas or something like that. Good for them. They're getting traction. I caught my eye.
Oh,
you know
absolutely.
What I mean? So the next one is kind of sad that Anthony Bourdain. It's not really a long link, but it's just basically about his estranged wife posts a tribute, having a good trip. It doesn't even say the tribute. I was terrible with links this week, guys. I'm sorry. They're good links, but they're just like 3 sentences. But that's sad. That guy, everybody talks about suicide and they're like, he had everything, he had all this money, and it's like, that doesn't matter to people that struggle with that stuff, man. Oh, yeah. I mean, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And, it's just
Can I go on a little bit of a mini rant with this?
Yeah, sure.
So I've seen people post things like, if you're struggling with depression, reach out. Here's the number. Call this number. If you're thinking about suicide, call this number. I don't know if you've ever been in a depressed state, but you're not likely to ask for help if you're depressed. What people should really encourage others to do is man up or woman up. Go be a friend to that person and just say, are you okay?
Right.
Like, that's going to help a whole lot more than just sharing a number saying, call if you need help.
Yeah.
Why don't we be the people that go to those who might be struggling and say, hey, I noticed you seem down. How can I help you?
In fact, I've listened to some podcasts and they've talked about if you know somebody that regularly struggles with depression and you see these things happen, because the suicide rate will jump 30% in the next
easily.
Couple months. If you see somebody like that, reach out to them and say, hey, what's up? How are you feeling? What can I do for you? Or, I've heard that same thing to talk about. Yeah, no one's going to call on that line. I mean,
yeah.
Springtime is the worst for suicides too, because they don't want to see everything bloom. It's life and so June is a huge month for suicides.
It's a bummer, man. Like, it's been a rough couple of years. I mean, Chester Benningfield, I think his name, from Linkin Park, and the guy from Soundgarden,
Kate Spade.
Yeah. It's just, I don't understand it. It's a tough subject, you know what I mean? You want to say, oh, you had kids, what are you doing? But
they don't think that. They think that their kids would be better off
without them.
Yeah.
So, and Anthony's dealt with heroin issues.
Yeah.
I mean, he was better. I mean, he was doing jiu-jitsu, like he had cleaned up his act, and
it's crazy.
But too, it could have sparked. I mean, Kate Spade was a couple days or a week right after him, and it was so publicized.
Or vice versa.
Kate was first.
Either Kate was first, and then
Kate was first, and then Anthony, and maybe that triggered something in his side.
And why? And they, the podcast I was listening to was talking about, like, with us being able to get news so quick, that's probably inspired people. That's a terrible word, but to be like, well, if he's committed suicide, he's got money and fame. What am I?
Yeah.
I'm just some dude, or some girl, and I think because of the social media, and you can see it, and the details are nasty and gross, and people just, I don't know, sucks.
It was just today. I was driving. I was getting on 196 from Wilson, and there was an ambulance and a fire truck parked underneath the bridge there, and then up on the top of the bridge of the overpass, there's like 3 police cruisers. Now, I don't know what was going on, but I have to imagine if there's ambulance and fire truck below and police cars up top, it's probably a jumper.
Yeah.
It's just so
Where was that? 196 in Wilson?
Yeah.
Right over, right
Wow.
over here.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I didn't see anything on the news, but
I didn't either, but it was just, you drive by stuff like that and your heart just sinks.
yeah, I always like say a little prayer like when I see those accidents. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I hope you're okay, whatever happens.
Yeah.
So
But yeah,
unless you
sad.
park in front of the Bob, then get a ticket, dumbass.
Seriously, you deserve that.
Today I learned, so this is a Reddit thread that I don't know if you're ever on Reddit or not, Amy, but it's kind of a fun. The app is way better than the desktop, but today I learned Phyllis from the office would pay bills and do Christmas shopping online from the office computers in the background while the show was going on.
That's incredible.
Because she didn't have a huge role, so like, can you imagine how much downtime she actually
Right.
had? You know,
Yeah.
just listening to what's going on. You're like, oh, I'm doing some shopping, and
That is awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you watched The Office?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's
It's a classic.
in
It
order
is a
to work
classic.
in my company, you have to know The Office. It
Right.
just comes up so much.
So do you
every
ever
day.
have like, oh, he's a Jim or she's a Pam? Or,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
I'm Jim, apparently.
You are?
Or Dwight. I'm a mix of both.
Yeah, I would say more Dwight.
Thanks.
That's not a bad thing. He was one of my favorite characters,
Yeah.
other than Michael.
Oh, yes.
I've been watching that 70s show on Netflix, like starting
Yeah.
from the beginning, because I watched
Right.
it somewhat when I was a kid or young adult. And Pam was just on an episode. Like season 7, she was like some bridal consultant or something. I'm like,
wow.
I know you. Like, it's funny
It
that
was the other
cameo.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was way before The Office, but so. And the other one, before you click on it, don't let her see it. Well, I don't want you to see. You didn't see it either. Oh, okay. So, what Venus flytraps? Where would you think they would be native to?
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. Where you been?
Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Nope. You can click on it. I think it's North Carolina. It
North
says
and
North.
South Carolina, maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure. I can't remember. I saw the North. Yeah.
That
Not
is
tropical
crazy.
rainforest. Like, who would have
What?
thought?
I know.
I mean, I don't know why. I kind of went down to some of the comments, but who would have ever guessed that? Like, I think everyone would get that wrong.
Yeah.
Look at that one. Fossils of Carboniferous. Whatever.
6 feet wide. Wow.
Great singers too.
Look at the second comment. The documentary
Feed me.
Little Shop of Horrors
Yeah.
goes into some detail about this. Apparently, they could also talk, and they ate people. That's a great movie.
Feed me, Seymour.
Yeah.
They're plant fossils. What are they going to do? Become zombies?
Oh, I know. Reddit, you can get so deep into this. Like,
That's amazing.
some of it's just like, look at this guy. They are from carbon. All right, Ben.
Carboniferous.
2 or 3 times more carbon dioxide than today. They'll probably be fine or not.
Or not.
Wow. Crazy.
I have that standing desk.
I had one when I was little.
What?
Venus flytrap.
Right?
Yeah. It was
I
pretty
think the
cool.
kids would like it.
They sell them at Meyer.
Do they?
Yeah. I just
So
saw
what's
'em.
like I wonder what the upkeep for that is. Like,
It's not bad.
I mean,
Just give them a fly.
well, yeah, but I mean, so my wife is a brown thumb. Like, I do all my own flowers. Like, I
Oh,
love
okay.
flowers, and she's got these. What's big now? The succulents.
Mhm.
She doesn't kill them yet, but those need like no water.
No, they're good.
It's
Yeah.
super weird. Like,
Yeah.
some plants that need so much water, and those are
Mhm.
like cactuses. Like they don't need much water at all. But so that's all I got. That was a long podcast.
What are
We
we
are-
at now?
We are at 127.
Wow. It's pretty good.
So that's pretty good. We try to keep it under an hour, but you know, it is what it is. Good storytelling. Do you have anything else you want to touch on? We can go for 3 hours if you want. Well, I'll be tired tomorrow, but
What time is it? 10:30.
10:30.
I don't.
Okay, well,
Not for this time.
thank
anyway.
you so much for coming. You brought a lot of interest. You know, when you bring a new person on, I always get some tips, and I got some from you with the garbage bag. I mean, it's obvious, but you brought in a good thought about like being calming and motherly, and obviously I wouldn't be motherly instead of me going, dude, please don't puke in my car.
I can't see you going, it's okay, sweetie.
Right.
They're there. Now.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, one thing I will say, and you did bring it up before the podcast, but you do need to get a dash cam.
I do need that.
It's worth the money.
Oh, yeah.
Just for peace of mind, even if you don't use anything off from it, it's perfect to be like, and I think Nick's had some success with that, but if Uber questions stuff, be like, well, I've got dash cam video if y'all want to see it.
Yeah.
Like, this is what happened. And he said that they're like, oh, no, it's good. We'll vote in your favor or whatever
I like just to catch all the funny stuff that happens in my car.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff is funny. Yeah. I mean, it's people are idiots sometimes.
I love it though. It's fun.
It is fun. I was telling her upstairs, I went for like a month and a half and didn't drive. I'm like, I gotta get back out there. Like, I kind of miss the shenanigans.
It's the drama.
Well, you do have to be in the mood for it. That's what I always tell people.
You do.
If you're grumpy, you might as well go home. Because people are like, oh, how is it like Uber driving? I'm like, think about being the sober person at a party every 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
Every
like
10 minutes.
Average ride's probably like 10 minutes. Like everyone gets in, they're all having the time of your life and you're working. Yeah. You know what I mean? But sometimes they're fun but
sometimes I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to. Sometimes I'll be, getting in and getting pumped up and I'm like, God, if you want me to talk to somebody, bring them to me. I'm ready. It's a good night. I will never do that again.
No.
Oh my God. I felt like Dr. Phil the whole night long.
Well, that's a whole nother topic about being a bartender where you're hearing everyone's problems.
He's like, all right, Amy, you want that?
Yeah. I told my wife I'm going to start carrying some of her business cards. She's getting into private practice counseling. And I had one passenger who just the standard line of questions like, what do you do? What does your wife do? I said, my wife's a counselor. He goes, I need one of those. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do anything as a side hustle? I things are just coming to my mind. Like
I do.
Other than Uber and Lyft, like do you have anything that you would hand a business card out for? Like,
no.
Like printers?
Sell 31 bags. Or
I do. I don't really I don't know if I should talk about it.
Oh, you don't have to. I was just curious.
I don't really have business cards for it.
Yeah, pound drugs.
Pretty much. No. Well, legally. Yeah.
Oh.
For cancer patients.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it's all legal and everything. And I have my cards, but I put that on hold the last year.
Oh, okay.
But no, I don't.
Oh, I'm just curious.
But people ask me for cards. Can we call you when, you get home? Stuff like that.
So I recommend you make those personal connections with people, especially you being now, this first winter I worked, I don't work a lot in the winter in my full-time job. I did do that. I did get contacts and I still ran it on the app.
Sure.
But, especially if it's a long ride, I mean, might as well do that.
I'll tell you, my friend, she said, hey, I don't want to hire Uber. Will you drive me? Mm-hmm. And paid me $30. And then her brother said, I'll give you, this was a couple weeks ago, I'll give you $100 if you drive me home. It was from Forest Hills to Knapp's Corner or Knapp Corner, whatever it's called.
$100.
I said, make it $125. I knew this kid forever. I thought he was kidding. And he actually gave me $100 bill.
Jeez.
So I'm thinking, it's time to go to Vista Printing.
Yeah. I mean, I would always, personally, I would run it on the app. And then if they want to tip you cash, just because for insurance things.
Yeah.
So there's liability with
right.
that. Now, if it's a friend, you can just say that. But if you do a ton of those cash rides and you guys get in an accident and Uber finds out, they can deactivate you.
Right.
I mean, we've all done it. It happens once a month where someone just hands you cash and like, hey, will you take us?
Right.
And we all do it. So you do take a chance. But if you do it regularly, I would just say, yeah, I will do it. I will pick you up, but let's run it on the app. And if you want to give me any more money, let's just give it in cash.
Well, these people are people I know too. So,
yeah. No, I mean, I'm just throwing the caveat out there.
Yeah.
Like, we all do it.
It's the right thing to do.
We all do it, but you do take a chance of, getting caught if you do get in an accident. They're like, oh, why weren't you on the app? And
absolutely,
they always just say,
yeah,
just tell them it's your friend. Even if it is, it's even better. But all right, let's wrap this up. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Hope you had a great time listening to the podcast. We had a ton of fun recording this one. You can find us at Twitter at GR Rideshare, Facebook, GR Rideshare Adventures, and our YouTube videos at GR Rideshare Adventures. Please like, follow, and subscribe. Please leave comments, questions, anything. Reach out to us. We'd love to connect with you. Have a great day.